Thanks for taking the time to speak to Finextra at the Finexpo Risk and Transaction Management event. In terms of the IT systems that support better risk management and better transaction processing at financial institutions, we hear a lot about the acronyms BPM, BAM, CEP. These are all technologies on some kind of continuum. Can you explain to us what they mean for Systar in a financial institution context?
Well, BPM is a very clear context, and it's the business process manager. It's a piece of software whose sole function is to orchestrate a process, a transaction process or something else, but it's orchestrating a process. On the other hand, it is therefore around execution of a task, a series of tasks. BAM, on the other hand, is about supervision. So in that sense, it is looking at the process unfolding and measuring performance, understanding non-performance, measuring risks to manage those risks, or offer action propositions or choices to do something about those risks, either in normal circumstances or in an accident, crisis, or issue period. And there are other tools like the very technical supervision of the machines and networks, and at the other end, the business intelligence tools, which are quite different with a strategic view rather than an operational and business view.
Things have obviously changed over the past 12 to 18 months. How have you seen that reflected in the types of process improvement, performance initiatives in place in financial institutions and the KPIs that are being tracked?
Well, actually, I don't think there was any difference in the reasons why. Probably the impact of the crisis was to focus every bank on one of those aspects of monitoring. The three aspects are performance and, of course, understanding non-performance. The second is monitoring, mastering, controlling risks, reducing them. And the third is about the customer satisfaction, the customer experience, the customer's behavior. And in the last few months, actually, I think some banks were intent on reducing costs and therefore improving performance. Some were intent on reducing risks, and they forgot a little about the rest. And the last one I saw last week was keen on centering on the customer's experience, satisfaction, behavioral changes and things like this, because it didn't have actually any consequence of the crisis.
Okay, so it's very varied still.
Exactly. I don't think there was, at least in our domain, more of a focus on risk by everyone, but a big focus on risk by some of them, which they didn't have before.
One of the things that business activity monitoring tools can help organizations do is not only look at things that have gone wrong and are going wrong now, but predict things that, given current trends, could go wrong in the short-term future. Can you give me some examples in financial institution customers of potential disasters that have been averted through the use of BAM technology?
Sure. Well, clearly Systar has a distinctive features in its BAM capability, which is to measure the trends and to increase, therefore, the ability to predict the performance for the 15-30 minutes that are coming and detect smoke rather than declare fire when you have the crisis on your hands. And that is absolutely essential to remaining at an excellence level in performance, because if you start experiences, delays, things like this, customers on the net will realize this decrease. So being excellent means avoiding those slow decreases, which means looking at the performance in the next half hour. And examples are, in payments, we've seen a customer who said recently he had avoided losing 292 payments at cut-off times, not losing but not executing them before, which was for something like $33 billion, which is quite important. So it's only one payment at a time, but when it happens, it is critical to one customer. Secondly, in the securities area, I saw one customer who had lost its securities transactions engine, and because it couldn't process transactions to the stock exchange, he decided to cut the channels. So he did cut most channels and went back to his Systar dashboard, who said, "Oh, you're still getting orders." So because he had the dashboard saying what's going on, he realized he had forgotten channels through which customers were sending securities orders to the bank. So he stopped the risk by cutting those other channels.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for your time today.
Pleasure.